I've seen a lot of ridiculous things over the years when it comes to EA Sports Madden football, but this year, according to the beta, there are some real issues when it comes to the team rankings. Let's dive in and talk about them next and see who got disrespected. So me being a Tennessee Titans fan, I don't get a lot of excitement usually during the year. So my highlight is playing EA Sports Madden football. So when Madden 26, the beta was released and the team rankings came out, the first thing I wanted to see, where did my Tennessee Titans land? But I'm also wondering, how's everybody else doing? Where would the Commanders be? After all, the Commanders had a great year last year. Not to mention the Detroit Lions. They're another team definitely on the rise. I will tell you up front, this could all change. EA Sports has come out and said, hey, look, this isn't the final team rosters. But it does look throughout history that EA kind of ranks them right before the season starts. And usually the fan favorites get what they want. Here's my first example, the Dallas Cowboys. An 88? Really? Well, when you stack it up against other teams that are really good, Buffalo Bills, 85, that doesn't make sense. Washington Commanders, now they're the team that really gets dissed, a 78. When I plugged in the latest rosters over at EA Sports for 2025, the Washington Commanders were ranked an 85. What? So how in the heck did they go down from an 85 to a 78? Then you look at the Tennessee Titans. They're at an 80. That's quite honestly not that bad. And I rant of a video kind of just got derailed because I was expecting the Titans to be 74. Over the history, when it comes to a Titans fan, you look at every player that comes to Tennessee, they usually get that 10% downgrade. No, I'm not making that up. I'm being legitimately real. And check this one out. The new game hasn't officially even came out yet, and Harold Landry's now making sack after sack. Once the New England Patriots ended up picking up Harold Landry, there's my example. Now all of a sudden, Harold Landry's getting like 2 sacks in a Madden 25 game. EA Sports, by the way, it's June, so they already knew he was moved over to New England. Here's one I can't figure out. Miami Dolphins, how did they get an 89? Oh yeah, I forgot, the Tyreek Hill effect. The Dolphins haven't done really anything. They've been okay at times, but for them to be over the Buffalo Bills, who are an 85, who have Josh Allen, are always one step away from the Super Bowl because of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, they're an 85. Figure that one out. And the Jets, Jets, and more Jets, 86? What did they do? Oh yeah, I forgot. Justin Fields. That's an upgrade. The only shocker here is the New England Patriots are an 80, and I thought they'd get at least a 5-point bump for Vrabel. As I mentioned with Vrabel, when he was on the Titans, he had that 10% downgrade, which has to be a real thing. Now, here's the one that takes the cake that really gets me fired up. Cleveland Browns, an 87. Are you kidding me? The Cleveland Browns, who had the number 2 overall pick in the NFL draft and took Shedeur Sanders, even though he is always going fast, because remember, if you're not first, you're last. In the case of Shedeur Sanders, he lasted all the way to the 5th round, and the EA Sports is like, yeah, we're going to start him off at an 87. As a Titans fan, I can't wait to see that Cam Ward versus Shedeur Sanders and which one is ranked higher come the beginning of the year. Because if it's Shedeur Sanders and he's higher than Cam Ward, I may not play the game anymore. Seriously, I might be out and sticking to college football. Out of the 8 divisions in the NFL, the AFC South ranked the last, but they're tied with the NFC East, and yet the NFC South is above them by a point, and they have Carolina, which is one of the worst teams in the game. Yeah, that's true. But what did EA Sports actually get right? Here's the thing. This can change, and I think it will change, but I don't think it's going to change when it comes close to release time and they get together and they scratch their heads and they're like, okay, where did we go wrong? Obviously, I think this is a beginning of the foundation of EA Sports team rankings, so I don't think a lot's going to change. And one of the things I think that can adjust these rankings a little bit is signing. So Alexander going to the Ravens, I believe they'll get a bump, and they'll probably go from a 91 to a 92. Worst of the worst, there's 5 teams that have rankings in the 70s. The Cardinals, the Giants, the Broncos, the Panthers, and yes, that's right, the Washington Commanders. 2 best teams, 49ers and the Chiefs. Well, it would be nice if the 49ers could stay healthy, and then I might actually think about it for a second. Oh, and by the way, did I mention Dallas? Yeah, I think I mentioned Dallas. When it comes to the AFC South and the Tennessee Titans, I can't complain. And an 80, I think that's good. Cam Ward, that tells me they probably got him ranked somewhat high. They lost some key pieces on the defense, but it helps when you got guys like Snead that are probably ranked pretty high, even though Snead's not even sure he's going to play. And Jeffrey Simmons, I'm sure he has a nice ranking. And who knows, the offensive line might be, we know it's improved, but maybe EA Sports got together and they're like, yeah, the offensive line from the Titans is better. When it comes to division, the Houston Texans in 85, yeah, I get it. I understand it. They got CJ Stroud. They were the defending division champs. I get it. Makes perfect sense to me. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't really have to say anything on the Jaguars. They will eventually sink themselves at some point in the game. And I would imagine when the season rolls out, maybe the Jacksonville Jaguars will be a team that will fall to the 70s. But leave a comment. Let me know. Does this matter in any ways when it comes to EA Sports, Madden 26? The rankings aren't official yet, but according to the beta, this is where they stand, and you can see every team and where they rank. Like I said, for me being a Titans fan, I'm okay with where I'm at 80. I want to see exactly where Cam Ward is, and I understand we're young, and I understand we are they had the number 1 pick in the draft. Can't argue that we'd be much better than an 80. But some of the teams that significantly got dissed, definitely the Washington Commanders. Did you forget to change some of the ratings from last year? That's the only thing I can figure out. It's just a copy and paste method, and off they went into the beta. Hopefully they'll make that change. And I'm sure they will in the Madden community, because there should be outrage about where the Commanders fall. Me not being a Washington fan, I don't really care about it, but yet I'm making a video about it. So yeah, it even upsets me a little bit. They need to change that ASAP. Denver Broncos, they're a team that got dissed as well, a 79. We're better than the Denver Broncos? Maybe we will be starting 1-0 come this first week of the season. You never know. Maybe Bo Nix is going to have a sophomore slump. Some things that got to downgrade. Let's start with the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins, no way, no how, need to be an 89 and be the division front runners going into the 2026 season. No way. And the other one they need to downgrade would be the Cleveland Browns. Like, seriously, 87? Don't get me worked up about that one again. Now it's your turn. Leave a comment. Let me know what you're feeling about Madden 26. Where did they go wrong? Where did they go right? Why it matters, why it doesn't matter. Is it a small market issue? Is that the real problem here? If you're in a small market and you don't have a huge fan base, you don't get high rankings because you don't sell copies of Madden? I won't go exactly that far, but if you do, leave a comment and let me know. Don't forget to tighten up that like button, hit that subscribe button. Till next time, take care, tighten up.